Namaste everyone, welcome to our weekly Bhagavad Gita class. Uh, Let us see how we will go with the discussion. Even we want to extend our program in the future, we can extend. So let us see how Dr. TPS is moving with our wonderful class. Dr. TPS, flourish for you.
Namaskaram, Dilipji, and nice to be on this. We are now almost at the half of Bhagavad Gita. Last week itself, I was mentioning when we reached 8th chapter, Akshara Brahma Yoga, it is to equip ourselves to understand the Raja Vidya, Raja Guhya Yoga. Raja Vidya, how to be more practical. We keep saying we need to be not very simple, very accidental. We need to groom ourselves how to be diplomatic. Maybe Raja Vidya is diplomatic. And Raja Guhya Yoga. Guhyam is secret. So this is the most secret or top secret. And Bhagavan Krishnan is explaining the most secret thing. And to understand that, probably the earlier chapters are required so that one become equipped. So here you can see more practical, little bit of scientific understanding of how people have to equip themselves to get into that knowledge which will be more helpful in practical world. Yes, there are 34 verses. So discover the inner self, which is Ishvara, the prana. As we have seen in earlier chapter 7 also had a similar Jnana Vijnana Yoga. Jnanam is knowledge, Vijnanam is the purified knowledge. So we can classify what can be practically useful and non-practically useful. It is also called Paravidya and Aparavidya. Paravidya is the spiritual science. Paravidya, spiritual science. Not easily available to everybody. That is why it is called Guhyam, esoteric, most secret. And that practically not available. So Aparavidya is the materialistic Vidya which is required as avidya, what is required for earning, living and all that. So this Vidya is not for that. This is with the nature, being with the world of Supreme Personality, the Parashakti. Therefore, the Brahman, the higher nature, is what is explained in the Paravidya. Aparavidya is we are in a delusion, confusion. We don't know what is right, what is wrong. Therefore, in a Maya, people keep saying Maya, everything is Maya. We don't know what is right, what is wrong. That's a lower nature. So we have to go up from the lower nature to the higher nature. That is why it is not that evident for people who don't understand it that easily. It needs a higher thinking, higher understanding of what is, earlier we mentioned fact and truth. So the fact is the practical world, the truth is the real world. To understand it, you need little more wisdom. So therefore, having understood the 4th chapter Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga, 7th chapter Jnana Vijnana Yoga, and 5th chapter Sannyasa Yoga, and most purified karma explained in the Karma Yoga in the 3rd chapter. All that is to equip ourselves to understand that. But Arjuna, as usual, had a lot of questions and answers, but this chapter there are no questions. Straight Bhagavan is dashing with the knowledge. And then this is also possible that Arjuna could not understand everything what Bhagavan said. So in 11th chapter is again Arjuna is asking to show the real Surupam. That Surupam is Vishwarupam, and that is Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga. So as 9th up to 9th probably is more logical. 10th onwards probably will become more towards showing Bhagavan's the ability to convince people. That means you need little more bhakti, and that is what is the rest of the chapters. So we will have to invest more time like what we have done in the 2nd chapter in the 9th chapter also. The topic of bhakti is what is actually from 11th to the rest of the chapters, maybe up to 17th. That is another category. So the level 1 will be with this chapter, where the first part is the Rajavidya, and few slokas are how the Jagat, the universe, the world, all that origin of and manifestation of the earth is what is explained in the few slokas from them. Then there is a condemnation, the man and the nature and with the God. How people realize this divine nature, which is really divine, because we are not able to understand how Bhagavan made this, created this. Therefore, a slow movement of bhakti. The creator who created all this with his greatness will be appreciated by half of this chapter. That is what probably we will see today. Then the rest half we will see in the subsequent discussions, and that little more introduction to the 11th chapter, as Bhagavan is the greatest one and raising him to the highest level, all the thought process will come. Therefore, what is to be done? You need to do karma which is more beneficial for everybody in the world. It has to be a sakama, nishkama, with a lot of upasana, and the rest of the result will come from that. That is what is being explained. So there the bhakti will start. As I told in Bhagavad Gita, each chapter ending will be an introduction for the next chapter. The beginning of the chapter will be a brief or continuation from the earlier chapters. So the sloka number 1, Bhagavan starts with sloka number 1, which is Rajavidya Rajaguhya Yogam, chapter number 9, the most confidential knowledge, the most esoteric, most secret knowledge. The Bhagavan himself starts by saying it is the most secret, most confidential knowledge. Sloka verse number 1. Sri Bhagavan idam tu te guhyatamam idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshyamyana suyave Nanam Vijnana Sahitam Yatnatva Mokshasya Ashubhat mokshasya ashubhat. Ashubham. It is not that good. That means it is materialistic in the Maya world, not the divine world. Idam tu te guhyatamam. Idam, this is what is guhyatam, most confidential. So Bhagavan is telling this is most confidential. Parama rahasyam. Parama, the ultimate. Rahasyam, secret. The ultimate secret is what I am going to tell you. Idam tute guhyatamam pravekshyamyana suyave pravekshyam. I am going to show to you. That means I am going to open to you. I am going to explain to you. Pravakshyam, pravakshyami, pravakshyami anya suyave, which is that, no, it is not that easy. I am going to show you, but I don't know how much you will understand. So with all these adjective only, Bhagavan is going to explain this. That means I am going to tell you, but no guarantee this is going to be understood, because it is the most top secret knowledge which I am going to give you. Idam tu te guhyatamam pravikshyamyana suyave jnanam vijnana sahidam. I am going to give you knowledge, and that knowledge which is to be realized. That means higher knowledge. Savijnanam. Vijnanam and Jnanam, both together, Sahidam, combined. With that I am going to give you what? Yatnatva. That is like a yatna. Yet knowledge itself is a yatna. Not gaining knowledge is a yaga yatna. You need to do a lot of tapa. You have to burn yourself. You have to spend your time, invest your time to gain knowledge. Yet that natva, understanding that, yet natva, yet that knowledge, what does it do? Moksha, you will be relieved, released. You get into the highest level, moksha. Say Ashubhat, from all these mysteries from this world, you will get out of this materialistic world. Yatnatva mokshasye ashubhat. With all the yatna to understand this knowledge, you will get into the higher level, relieved from this materialistic world. Jnanam vijnana sahidam yatnatva mokshase ashubhat idam tute guhyatamam pravikshyamyana suyave jnanam vijnana sahidam yatnatva mokshase ashubhat. This is sloka number 1. Sloka number 2 is more higher, important, more secret than the first one. First one is only an introduction. Verse number 2. Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitra Mida Uttamam Pratyakshaavagamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartumavyayam. So what is that secret knowledge which I am introduced in the verse number 1? That knowledge is Rajavidya, the science of diplomacy, how to rule, the politics. I am going to give you the knowledge of politics. Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam, the most profound knowledge, the most secret knowledge, the esoteric knowledge. Rajavidya, Rajaguhya Yoga, that's why it is called. Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam, Pavitram Idam Uttamam, the most purest of the purest. Pavitram is the purest of the purest. Idam, this. Uttamam, Uttamam is the highest, the purest and the highest knowledge, which is Rajavidya, Rajaguhya Yogam, which I am going to give you in this subsequent slokas. That is what Bhagavan says. Pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam. Pratyaksha, directly you can perceive it, and directly you can realize it also. Pratyaksha avagamam. Avagamam is you can realize it. Avagamam. Pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam, which is highest virtuous. The truth of the material is seen here. Whatever I am saying, it is going to be the most truthful. Dharmyam is the most truthful, the essence, the quality is what I am going to explain to you. Susukham kartum avyayam. Susukham, not sukham. Sukham itself is best, easy, happy, most pleasurable. Susukham is the ultimate pleasure, which you will realize, the happiness. And then what you will do? Kartu, which you can practice also. Avyayam, which doesn't be lost. Vyayam is lost. Avyayam is which will not be lost. So I am going to give you that knowledge which will never be lost, which can be practiced, which gives you blissfulness. So Sukham is bliss, permanent happiness, which cannot be destroyed. And what is that? Directly practicable. Pratyaksham, and then Avagamam, which can be realized by you directly, and which is the dharmyam, which is the truth, which is the essence of knowledge. Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idamuttamam Pratyakshaavagamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartum Avyayam. So here the content of what he is going to explain is given a brief. So this is the synopsis of the chapter, or synopsis of the whole Bhagavad Gita. We are now in the middle. You know, the most precious things in our life, we will keep it in the safest of the safest chamber. And safest of the safest chamber will not be on the outer rooms. We will be in the center of the house, will be where we will keep the most precious thing. So similarly, Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters. The center of Bhagavad Gita is 9th chapter. So what is being shown as the most precious is kept in the center of Bhagavad Gita. So we are reaching very close to the center of Bhagavad Gita. Out of 700 slokas, 350 sloka will be the center of Bhagavad Gita. So we are getting close to the center of Bhagavad Gita. So understand, it is most secret, top secret. That is why it is kept in the center of Bhagavad Gita. There are many secrets inside Bhagavad Gita like this. So he explained what is Guhyat, what is that knowledge. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Idam Tute Guhyatamam Pravikshamyana Suyave Nanam Vijnana Sahitam Yatnatva Mokshase Shubhat Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idamuttamam Pratyakshaavagamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartum Avyayam. Now, third sloka. Asraddhana Purusha Asraddhanaha Purusha Dharmasyasya Parandapa Asraddhanaha Purusha Dharmasyasya Parandapa Aprapya Mam Nivartande Aprapyamam nivartande Mrityu samsara varmini. Mrityu samsara varmini. That is what all of us want. Mrityu, death. Samsaram, the existence until our death. Samsaram is the life. Mrityu samsara, death and the materialistic life which we all have now, where we are undergoing. This life and the mrityu, what is to be done? Varmini. In that path, as we live until we die, that path, Asraddha Purusha. Asraddha. Shraddha, the most concentrated, where we have full faith. Asraddha. People, these Purusha, these persons, with that perfect faith is what is Shraddha. So here, Asraddha. That means those people do not have faith. Asraddha Purusha. People without faith, those persons, those don't have faith. Dharmasyasya Parandava. With dharma, all that what we do, for what? Getting enemies, to conquer enemies, to fight in this world. Hey Parandava, hey Arjuna, most of the people without faith, they keep on doing something with creating the enemy creation and the consequence of enemies. Every action which they do get into some sort of an enmity, and the consequence of that enmity in them, which will create a lot of problems for them. And aprapya me nivartande. Aprapya mam nivartande. And what will happen to them? They will not be able to get into my earlier chapter. You remember Bhagavan said to come to me, there are ways. But here Bhagavan says most of the people don't get into that level where I am there with that moksham, because what will happen? All their actions are against dharma and creating enemies, not with the Shraddha. There he said Shraddhavan labhate jnanam, earlier chapter. Now here Asrandha, without Shraddha, Asraddha Dhana. Without Shraddha they keep living from where? Mrityu samsara varmini, in the path of life and up to death. All the action which they do are wasteful, not to the truth, not with dharma. And then what will happen? Aprapya, they cannot reach me. Mam, to me they will not reach. And they live here, nivartyande. What will happen to them? They will have cycle of death and birth and death and birth. Earlier chapter Bhagavan said, you can come to me, I will take you to my abode. Now Bhagavan says, with all the actions which they are not doing perfectly, they keep on taking birth in this world. That is why we are all here, in the samsara varmini, in the prarabdha karma of living in this world. Repeatedly come back into this world, we have got the same action being repeated again and again. Yesterday, whatever we had thought, same thoughts will disturb us today. Whatever happened earlier, again same thought will. We will keep on keeping account and start arguing with the people. We have no escape. We don't think about what can be done tomorrow. What you think about what can be done tomorrow, a better activity for the purpose of the whole world is what is spirituality. That is Satkarma. Instead of that, thinking about earlier karma, most selfish action, such actions are against that reaching to the Bhagavan's abode. They become Asraddhadhana Purushaha. Most unfaithful people in this world are like that, and they are in the Prarabdha Karma, Mrityu Samsara Varmini. Asraddhadhanaha Purushaha Dharmasyasya Parandava Aprapyamam Nivartande Mrityu Samsara Varmini. This is what happens to them. Now, sloka number 4. Maya tadamidam sarvam Jagadavyaktamurtina Matsthani sarvabhutani Nachaham Teshava Stita. Nachaham, तेष्वव स्थितः मया तदमिदं सर्वं. To me, to come to me, to reach to my level, tatamidam sarvam, everyone in this world, who are all in this world, what will happen to them? Jagata avyakta murtina. Jagada avyakta murtina. Avyaktam, which is not clear. That means the cosmic, the supreme, the Bhagavat personality, which is not clear to all of us. Jagad avyakta murtina, that manifested form of Bhagavan in the cosmic world, that means reaching to Bhagavan. Maya tadamidam sarvam, for everybody it looks like no, not reaching to me is that possible. Matsthani sarva bhutani, Matsthani, my place, every living being, sarva bhutani, every living being in this world, not a human being alone, every life who have taken birth in this world, na chaham teshavastitaha, na chaham, na cha aham, me, na me, not me, and in me, the inside me, that which dwells as that wisdom, that knowledge, that spirit, that divinity. Looking at that, these people will start avyakta rupa. For them it is an avyakta rupa, not very clear. Which is in me, that which dwells, that the spirit which is called the cosmic manifestation, which will become not clear to most of the other living beings, sarva bhutani, who are all in this world. That means it is not that easily attainable. Earlier Bhagavan said you do the tapa, you get knowledge, with all that you will attain. Now Bhagavan says it is not that easy, it needs a higher level. That is why it is called, it is not that easy. Where some questions were asked, what is to be done to get there? I told wait until 9th chapter. Bhagavan himself will tell it is not that easy, as I explained earlier. Only to motivate Arjuna to keep that spirit of listening. The earlier chapters he said, oh, it's easy, you can get it, only Shraddha is required. But then Arjuna had a lot of doubts. Krishna knows that Arjuna will not be that convinced. Therefore, if you tell the most secret, 9th chapter would have been the first chapter or second chapter. Bhagavad Gita would have been ended in 10 minutes. Arjuna will say, no, I don't want to listen to you, I don't understand. So this is not that easy to understand. Earlier chapters I could go very fast, but here I am not able to go fast. Because Bhagavan himself says it is not that easy. Maya tadamidam sarvam. For every living being in this world, Jagad avyakta murtina, which will become not possible, unmanifested thing in the manifested form, is what is in me. Therefore, you will not be able to understand that unmanifested me, which is na chaham tesha vistita. Inside me, that spirit is there, but I am sure it is not that easy because it is unmanifested. You are seeing me, but I am not that person you are seeing me. I am much higher than that. That's what Bhagavan says. So this is an introduction for the Bhagavan's supreme personality being introduced by this. Matsthani sarva bhutani, which is there in every one of you, but you will not realize it. Not every realized person can only find it, and everybody cannot be that realized person. So it takes some time. You need patience. You must be very courageous to go through all these steps so that you will reach someday there. Maya tadamitam sarvam jagadavyakta murtina matsthani sarvabhutani nachaham teshvavastita. It is very, very easily. All living beings, I dwell in them, they dwell in me, but realizing that, no, not that easy. That's what Bhagavan says. 5th sloka. Naja matsthani bhutani pashyame yogamaishwaram nacha mat sthani bhutani pashyame yogamayishwaram bhudabhrinna cha bhudasto bhudabhrinna cha bhudasto mamatma bhuda bhavana mamatma bhuda bhavana nacha matsthani bhutani nacha matsthani inside me, that place, bhutani, every living being resides in me, inside me, nacha, never you can meet me there. That means you cannot reach into me. Though you are inside me, you are not seeing me. Nacha matsthani bhutani, you are inside me. Pashyame yogamaishwaryam. Pashyame, wait. Yogamaishwaryam, that divine energy inside me is there. Where? Because you are inside me, you are part of me. You, as a divine person, inside you, there is a spirit which is part of my spirit inside you, or you can consider you are inside me. There is no difference between me and you. Bhuda brinnaja bhudasthva. Bhuda brinna. That living being who are living in this world. That means those who have life, those who have energy to live, where life force energy is working. That and bhudastvo. Bhudastvo is those people who reside inside me. That means those people who realized and understood what is this divine being. With them did you join? Bhudastvo, those people who joined with me, or Bhuda Brinna, those people who are yet to join me. Mamatma Bhuda Bhavana. I am not finding them, my Atma, Bhuda Bhavana. I am the person who created both. That means those who realized, who understood that I am inside them or they are inside me. And those people, those who did not understand whether I am inside or not, I don't care. In each one of them, my Atma is there. See, as a person, you may realize God is inside you, or you are inside God. Oh, I am a realized person. Some people will understand. Other sort of people, there can be bhaktas like this, and there can be no bhaktas also. There can be pretending bhaktas also. Bhagavan says, in all of them I am there. Whether you believe in me or not, I don't care. I am there in each one of you. Directly, that is what Bhagavan says. So how to realize? So these are all there. That is why it's realization. It is not discovery. You are not discovering God outside. You are discovering inside you that Bhagavan is existing. Then you are there with the Bhagavan. Even without that, you are there with the Bhagavan. But only problem is you are not able to see him. Why you are not able to see him? Because you are thinking that you are not with him, he is not with you. You have doubt always. Therefore, you are not a realized person. So, he is clearly mentioning what sort of bhakti people should have. Not what is materialistically showing. Getting into that knowledge, and that knowledge will give you realization. And that knowledge which gives you realization is what is earlier explained. Now he says, people may not get that knowledge that easily. Though you may think that, oh, I got the knowledge. Oh, I am reading Bhagavad Gita. I am teaching Bhagavad Gita. I listen to Bhagavad Gita. Therefore I know. No. These are all only explaining the beauty. But explaining the beauty will not give you the fragrance of the... But the flower is not fragrance alone. Flower is not beauty alone. Flower is not a description. It is not dissecting it and understanding sloka by sloka, word by word meaning. The essence of it, the beauty of it, the fragrance of it, the origin of it, and understand that, oh, yeah, I feel. Now I feel the God is there. Because in every creature Bhagavan existing, Can you find that enjoyment in the flower, the most beautiful flower? And can you see this in the most ugliest, cruelest demon nature which is existing in this world as the most poisonous, most disturbing person? Because Bhagavan says in all of them I exist. So if you can realize that in every one of them, you are close to me and you reach me. That is what Bhagavan says, without discrimination. But that is what is very difficult, right? That is what is diploma. That is what is diplomacy. That is what that graduation we should have. That is what the certificate we want. From whom? Bhagavan. That Bhagavan says, I am like that. So when Bhagavan says, I am like that without any Buddha Bhava difference, without discrimination, I look at all of them, without influencing, I look at every person, every living being in the true nature, but I am living in each one of them. Whether they love me or not, I don't care. Means what? We must see in every living being, everything which has got life has Bhagavan inside. Realize it. That is what Bhagavan says. If somebody is doing bad to you, yeah, they did not realize it. A time will come, they will realize it. So have patience. Is it that easy? Not that easy. That is why this is the most practical chapter. This is why how people will be taught how to love your enemies also. Na chamatthani bhutani pashyame yogamashwaram bhudabrinnacha bhudastho bhudabrinnacha bhudastho. Most important, bhudabrinnacha bhudastho, and cha means and. Bhudabrinnacha, those living being who sustain here, and bhudastho, in which I am dwelling. Mamatma bhuda bhavana, I am the creator for both of them, and I am the reason for all of them to be alive here. Therefore, I stay in each one of them. Na chamatthani bhutani pashyame yogamashwaram bhuda brinnacha bhudastho mamatma bhuda bhavana. 9.5, where Bhagavan is explaining without discrimination, I am there in each. Every living being is equal to me. Yeah, you need to fight. You need to fight in yourself with all the terrible. You will hear. Somebody will come and tell you, you are useless, you don't know anything, you are non-practical, you are useless, you did all wrong. All that you hear, nothing wrong. Listen all that because you deserve it. Who is telling? Sitting in somebody's tongue, this is being told to you because they are also part of this Bhagavan's creation. Correct? So you should have patience to listen to all such scoldings also. I undergo all this. Every moment we have to undergo this. Then a realization will come after some time. That needs a lot of rubbing to make it more smoother. Earlier once I explained that. Now 6th sloka. Yathakashastito nityam Yathakashastito nityam Vayu sarvatra go mahan Vayu sarvatra go mahan Tatha sarvani bhutani Matsthani tyupa dharayam Matsthani tyupa dharayam Upadharaya. Dharana is knowledge. Upadharaya. Understand that also along with this. That means you know, as if you know. When we say, oh, you know this, I presume you know this. I know you know Newton's law. When again I am explaining Newton's law. That means what? I assume that you know this, or not, you should learn this. That is what Bhagavan says here. Dharaya. Oh, I hope you know this. That means you don't know. Listen to me very carefully. That is what Bhagavan says. This is most essential. Therefore, listen to me. That is what the beginning when somebody says, yeah, I know you know this, means it is taken for granted that you know this. If not, you have to listen. That is what dragging attention is what Bhagavan does here. He does all the tricks of teaching methodology in Bhagavad Gita. When you look at it, not externally, go internally word by word and look at it, you understand how to drag attention. This is how Bhagavan drags attention of his listeners. Yadhakasha sthito nityam. Yadhakasha, in that sky. Nityam, always. As in the sky, always. What is there? Vayu, wind is there. And then sarvatra go. And it keeps on moving every time. Mahan, a great man. Who is that? The wind is blowing everywhere in the Akasha. Always it is there. Tata sarvani bhutani. Like that, in every bhutam, every living being, sarvani, without, as in Akasha, in the atmosphere, air is there, wind is there. Like that, in every living being, I am there. Matsthani, in that place, who is there? I am there. Now the question is whether the air makes the atmosphere or in the atmosphere air is there. Which is, air is there in the atmosphere or atmosphere is made out of air. You cannot distinguish. Similarly, I am there in every Jivatma. Does it mean that Jivatma is independent of me? Without without air, the atmosphere can be there? No. Air is there, that is why we call it as atmosphere. So why every Bhutatma is called a Bhutatma, living being? Because I am there. So it is inseparable. If there is life, I am there. If there is atmosphere, air is there. Matsthani atyubadhare. You know this. Yeah, we didn't realize. Oh, God is there in every living being. We thought God is there only in temple and in very specific places. That's why in one of the question I answered, people go to different temple in search of Bhagavan. We keep explaining what Bhagavan is. All these are waste because Bhagavan himself says, I am there in each animal, each living being, each plant, each flower, each fruits. Everything has got life. Each grain which is growing, it has life inside. I am there inside. How? What a beautiful simile. What else is required? Yadhakasha sthito nityam. In the air, whether you realize air is there or not, oh, you don't realize it, right? Only when the breeze comes, you realize, oh, there is air. Only when you take the breath inside, you realize there is air. And if air is not there, you understand what will be life? It will become lifeless. Similarly, Vayu sarvatra go mahan. That mahan, that great personality is there. Who is that great personality? The air. Where? In the atmosphere. Tatha sarvani bhutani. Like that in every living being. This mahan is there. Bhagavan says, I am there in each living being. Matsthani ityupa dharaya. And I am that dharaya. Dharaya, which is covering, which is living, which is existing, which is covering that. Dharana means that, like the dress which I am wearing. I enclosed inside. Your life is enclosed inside. Like Bhagavan is enclosed inside each one of their lives. Yadhakasha sthito nityam. Vayu sarvatra go mahan. Vayu sarvatra go mahan. Tatha sarvani bhutani matsthani ityupadharaya. What a beautiful simile and the way of explaining what Bhagavan is. So this is what is realization of life around you. Therefore your dealings around every living being will become so diplomatic and you cannot be cruel. You will become highly wise, virtuous, most cleanest person. This is what is being explained, right? So that means all the living being from the beginning of the universe to till now is created as the atmosphere is created with earth. Around that, the air. This world is created with all the living creatures which are essential for us to understand. Bhagavan is existing in each one of them. That's what Bhagavan says. Now, sloka number 7. Sarvabhutani kaundeya prakritim yandi mamikam. Prakritim yandi mamikam. Kalpakshaye punasthani. Kalpadau visrujamyaham. Sarva Bhudani Kaundeya. Hey Kaundeya, a son of Kundi. Sarva Bhudani. In every living being, Prakritim Yandi Mamikam. Prakritim Yandi Mamikam. My Yandi merged, joined. Prakritim. That nature which is the beginning or the origin of the universe. In that, I am merged inside. Inside the seed, the energy which just now I explained. Though it doesn't show the life, as you put it in the Panchabhudam, put it in the mud, little water, little air, little hot, and then automatically the life comes out. But you cannot say life is not there in the seed. Similarly, that Prakritim, that original, the first starting of this life, the origin, Yanti Kamikam, I am there, Mamikam, I am there in this seed, Sarva Bhudani, from which all the Buddha comes, all the life comes. The origin itself, I am there. Not that I come and occupy later. The atmosphere is created by air. That doesn't mean there was an atmosphere without air and then air came there. No. Like each one of us, the life is inside by birth itself. Before birth itself, the life was inside us. Kalpakshaye punasthani. And when does it start? From Kalpa. What is Kalpa? That time where we start. Yuga, Mahayuga, and then Kalpa goes back to the origin of the world. That is Kalpa. Okay. So that Kalpa is crores of years, millions of years. What is one Kalpa? I told you, each Yuga, Kali Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, Satya Yuga, everything. 4,32,000 years is Kali Yuga. Double that is Dwapara Yuga. Triple that is Treta Yuga. 4 times is Satya Yuga. So 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. 10 times of Kali Yuga is 1 Mahayuga. That is 1/2 day of Brahma. So 2 days multiplied by 2 Mahayuga, multiply with 120 years, multiply with the 365 days, will become 1 Kalpa. And that Kalpa, that will become almost 4.32 billion years. And that 4.32 billion years, in that time onwards, Kalpakshaye Punasthani. All that again and again, Puna, repeatedly, I come again and again and again and again. Kalpadau Visrujamyaham. From the beginning of the Kalpa, I keep manifesting, coming again and coming. So, if Pralaya comes, the Yuga goes, ends and then starts again, I keep on continuing in all this life. Sarva Bhutani Kaundeya Prakritim Yanti Mamikam Kalpakshaye Punasthani Kalpadau Visrujamyaham. Prakritim, 8th sloka. Prakritim Swamavashtabhya. Prakritim Swamavashtabhya. Visrujami Punah. Visrujami Punah. Bhudagramamimam Krishnam. Bhudagramamimam Krishnam. Avasham Prakriter Vashat. Avasham Prakrite Vashat. Avasham. Vasham means which I can keep beside me. Avasham means which I cannot keep. That means which is not in my control. In whose control is that? Prakrite vashat. It is the nature which controls. I am not controlling. It is not me who controls and stays that where I wanted to stay, where I wanted to keep. Prakriti controls. I am also under the control of Prakriti. Prakritim swamavishtabhya. That energy which is inside that seed, inside the origin of everything, which is mine, swamabhishta. It is my energy. Swam avishtabhya, which is there inside that, which is my existence there. Visrujami puna puna, which is generated again and again. The other day we were explaining, the seed comes and grows and becomes and give birth to many such seeds, and each seed is the same seed which started. Visrujami puna puna. That seed has to give birth to again and again. That is what is life. Punarjanma means that only. One seed gives birth to many seeds, and that seed also gives birth to many seeds. That is Punarjanma. Visrujami puna puna. That is why here Bhagavan is explaining the life pattern, the origin of life and how life is continuing. Bhuda Gramamimam Krishnam. And each form of this life which is getting from one to another one, everything is Krishnam. In all that I am there. Without break I keep on going. Avisham. Avasham. It is not my control. Prakriter vashat. It is Prakriti which is controlling all this. So too many forms of life which comes again and again in each Bhutatma, in each living being in this world, which is not controlled by me, which I am also controlled by that. That means which is above me. It is, I am only under them. Prakriti is the ultimate. That Prakriti has got its own life and origin. And that, who is that life? That is what we call as the original energy from the mother. And that mother is the ultimate, which gives life. This survival, sustenance, maintenance is what Krishna is doing, Vishnu is doing. So he is explaining that part. Prakritim swamavishtabhya visrujami puna puna. Visrujami puna puna. So what is important is that energy which exists in each one of us, which keep on taking birth and giving birth and taking birth and giving birth. The seed taking birth and giving birth. That's what happens. Bhuda Gramamivam Krishnam Avasham Prakritir Vashat. So I am also not under my control. I am being controlled by many other forces around. Nacha mam tani, 9th sloka. Nacha mam tani karmani. Nacha mam tani karmani. Nibandhandi dhananjaya. Nibandhandi dhananjaya. Najamam tani karmani nibandhandi dhananjaya. Udasina vadasinam. Udasina vadasinam. Asaktam teshu karmasu. But okay, because I don't know, can I be away from this, detached from all these actions, remain neutral, doing nothing? No. Why? Because I am not under my control. I am controlled by the Prakriti. Nachamam tani karmani. I am the person who is doing all this. Nachamam, it is me alone, nobody else. Tani karmani. I am the one who is doing all these, nobody else. Karmani. I am the person who is doing this. Nibandhanti dhananjaya. I am bounded by this action. God himself is not able to get out of his own performing action. He is supposed to do his action. Udasina vadasinam. Very natural and continuous, sustained doing it. Without break, I keep on doing my action. I give that knowledge inside each one of the person for sprouting to become the seed becomes the seedling, and that becomes the bigger tree. That ability inside that seed is given by me, and I cannot stop making that seed to grow, but it needs a good environment. Similarly, each one of us need a good environment, satsang, for the potential growth of each one of us. Asaktam teshu karmasu. But can I be, oh, this person is not good, can I throw him out? No, I should push him into that environment where he can grow so that he will get realized. Like the seed has to be put into the Panchabhuta so that it can grow. So all of us have got to get into that opportunity, that atmosphere. Potential is inside us. Because Bhagavan is inside each cruel person, each dirty person, each nasty person, whomever you call. But it needs a good environment. So how can you throw him out? Like the seed cannot be thrown, and or don't put it inside the almara, inside the chamber of your house, inside that it is most precious. So let me lock that seed inside the chamber. No, it cannot grow. So you have to throw it into that atmosphere where it can grow. So I am there. I can never be detached. The action will be there in every living being. Na chamam tani karmani nibandhanti dhananjaya udasina vadasinam. As naturally I keep on doing this job. Asaktam teshu karmasu. I cannot get away from this not doing my job. No way. I have to be every time here. This says Bhagavan himself is in action every moment, which is not in his control. He is being controlled by the nature. See, Bhagavan is not saying I am the most powerful. Here Bhagavan says I am only a servant of the Prakriti. So whom we should adore? Bhagavan is only giving the realization to understand that Prakriti is in each one of us. That Paramatma is in each one of us. So don't search Paramatma outside. Paramatma is inside you. That realization is what is yogam. That realization is what is the real spirituality. Na chamam tani karmani nibaddhanti dhananjaya udasina madasinam asaktam teshu karmasu. But these are all being taught in temple by, oh, you did not realize it, you want to realize it, come. But then at least while going back out of the class, listening to Bhagavad Gita, they should realize, oh, I also have got the spirit inside me. Let me pamper it, let me make it to grow so that that realization comes in me. Mayadhyakshena prakriti. Mayadhyakshena prakriti. 10th sloka. Mayadhyakshena prakriti. 10th or 9th? Yeah, 10th sloka. Mayadhyakshena prakriti. Suyate sacha sacharacharam. Suyate sacharacharam. Hedunanena kaundeya. Hedunanena kaundeya. Jagat viparivartate. Jagat viparivartate. Mayadhyakshena prakriti. That by me, in my, and how the prakriti works, Bhagavan is taking control of the prakriti now. I am the presiding officer. I am the controlling officer. I am the director of that prakriti also. Though the prakriti controls me, I also control the prakriti. My adhyakshena prakriti, it is under my control, under my adhyakshata, under my the presidency. I am the director. I am sitting as a president for this prakriti. Suyate sacharacharam. And what comes? Suyate. I go into each one of them. Suyate, which goes into each characharam, each living being, each bhutatma, each animal, each plant, each person, I get into them. As I am the controlling officer for this prakriti, I get into each one of them. Hetu nanena kaunteya. What is that reason why I am going inside? Without any reason. Hetu nanena kaunteya. Hey Arjuna, Kaunteya, I go into this. Is there a reason? No, I go into them because their life is there, and for that reason I go into them. Because they are in this world, Jagat Parivartate. Therefore, the world changes. The life comes. Because I go inside them and then manifest inside them, maybe I give a realization to some of them. The world goes on like this. That is my job. Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetu nanena kaunteya jagat parivartate. Jagat parivartate. That is how the world changes. This is what the first 10 slokas in the 9th chapter. Here Rajavidya is explained. The origin of life is explained. So the next 11 to 15 is, under this there are two categories of, as Bhagavan is going to explain, there are different bhavas. The Asura, Deva bhavas are there, which will be explained in the next 11 to some slokas, and then continue with the most guhya part of knowledge. So we reached 1 hour, 10 slokas. Is there any quick 1 or 2 questions? Probably we can take it up, otherwise we'll close here. Dilip ji has got some other commitment, so he requested to close it early. Any basic questions or any discussions required? You are welcome.
So in the 10th sloka it says Jagat Vipari Vartate.
Yeah.
So Jagat means world or the universe?
Jagat is actually where we are. The where we are can be where we are. So it is up to my imagination. So that is Prakriti. That is this world. So where is my world? Wherever my resource is there. It can be the universe, it can be the earth. Jagat is generally earth. But when Bhagavan talks about Jagat, what is Bhagavan's Jagat?
It will be the universe.
Yeah. So, but for us, Jagat is the materialistic world. Not even the spiritual world. Because we are not reached there. If we are reached there, we don't have to discuss this at all. So the world is not a materialistic world alone, but for those people as Bhudatma, when they explained, here the world is neither universe nor the Jagat. It is only the materialistic world in which we are always rounded. So as Bhagavan is using it in a negative sense, slightly negative, to give us a realization, it's like scolding, your world. So our world is materialistic world. So if you interpret too much, it will come my world. What is my world? My materialistic world, in that no, I am round with the materialistic life. So it is the materialistic world what is being mentioned here as Jagat. Otherwise, for Bhagavan, it is the whole universe. For the realized people, it is the whole earth and whole living being. Earth means, don't look at earth as the globe. Every life in every plants and animals and then leaves and grains around me, that life is more important. For most of the people, they see seed as only a seed, but not the life inside the seed. Therefore, it becomes only a material for me to eat. While eating, are you seeing that life inside that? Then your world becomes slightly bigger and higher. That is how it is to be seen. So Bhagavan here is mentioning, hey, you only take that items around you for you to eat. Everything else around you is selfish. I want, oh, my brother, my cousin, my sister. You don't see them as an independent entity. You see them so selfishly that, no, oh, my friend, so they should do everything for me. But you don't realize that they have some independent nature, right? When you understand that they are also part of this universe, you are looking at the world, the characharam around you becomes highly cleansed. So that is has different meaning at different level. Wonderful question, very beautiful question.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good enough, Dilip ji?
If they have any more questions.
Professor,
Yeah.
so it is quite interesting because
Because it is interesting.
okay, but it's truth. The only truth we have is the material. You say that the blah 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 figure of the year is about it's all mathematics, and then life is like mathematics. So it's made of formality. So we need to live a life within the matter, the mathematics, the square, the geometry. However, the more you get away of that, the more you feel the life in a different level. But you see, I am somebody who never had a wish because I see so many conflicts and so much not beautiful, because I love beauty. I think life should be beautiful. I love nature, and nature only teaches us beauty. Everything in nature is beautiful. Even the hard things, like when you have a rain or a huge aurora, it's beautiful. However, it's like a karmatic whatever thing, because I want to bring you to Brazil. I want to get wonderful events in Brazil. But I am nobody because I have to live myself without my parents, without the family that I am on a Brazilian minimum wage, which means I am a poor human being. And who cares for a poor human being? Who listens to a poor human being? Nobody. So, unless I get drafted like I am rich, like I have the power, like I have the money, I won't be able to do what I wish to do. So, how do we get to this blah, 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 yet being where we are?
So the question is how to get rid of that state of you being you to the highest level. Is that the question? How to get into that level? Yeah, that will.
If you understood like that, I
Yeah.
take it because my mind.
Yeah, that is a conflicting nature. That conflict is there in many. How to reach into that level where our thoughts are not held up with these materialistic world. That will come in the next 13th sloka. Mahatma manastumam partha devim prakritimashritha bhajandyānanyamānaso natva bhudādimavvyayam. How to get rid of such a nature where we are held up in the materialistic world. That will come in the rest of the slokas which are going to come. Nilaya is in the real path. That is why she is asking the next question. If Arjuna would have been there like Nilaya, he would have asked that question. So what answer is to be given by Krishna is what Nilaya asked now. You are in the right path. That means you understood until now. So you want to ask that question. That's what you generally happens to Arjuna. So the question comes. Good, because Arjuna did not ask that question. You asked that question. So answer is coming on 13th sloka. We are on 10th sloka. I thought I will skip a few and go to 22. Now you are not allowing me to skip them. I will do that. Next class we will go step by step, line by line. We'll do that next class.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll see you next Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Pranam.
That's good.
So
Thank you, Dr. KP. Yes, that was an interesting session today.
thank you, Dilip ji.